Good morning. This is Grandma Freeman, and this is my winter garden. This is what it looks like. Today is December 23rd, Tuesday, and I want to take you on a tour of what we've accomplished to kind of tidy up the yard for the winter. And I don't know if I'll be out to pull weeds or not. This is the little decoration that I got. It's like an evergreen, and it has some ice skates on it, and there's Santa Claus, and there's my gnome, and he has a water gauge, so when it's raining, if I can remember, I'll put it to where the rain falls. It won't fall here anymore in this space. And this is my rosemary. I lost my parsley, and I had some thyme in there too. So, and this doesn't look too well over here. This is oregano, but it will come back in the spring, hopefully. Anyway, and I have some Wandering Jew over here, and I have some, I think it's called orange mint in there. I'll show you. Okay, the orange mint, this is what it looks like. And when I was weeding this spot, I accidentally pulled some out, and they had the roots on them. So I put them in water and grew more roots, and then I have them in my kitchen on the windowsill. And if they last through the winter, I'll plant some more out here. Let's see. There's some over here. So that's not where I planted it, but the roots on mint grow under the ground, so it should come back up in the spring. Here's some down in here, and I think there's some more over there. Well, anyhow, wherever it comes up, I'll add to it if I can, and maybe I'll find some more if I can't keep those in the house alive. And my son raked up the leaves, and we put them around. This is my pecan tree, or he did. He put them around the pecan tree. This is a lemon tree. It's not looking too well now. And then these are, what do you call, palm trees? Well, at the beginning of palm trees. And they came from the one that my son gave me years ago, and he planted it in the front. And that one, I'll show you that one in a little while. So we started new ones, and there they are. And I put them there. I don't think I want to plant them, but I'm going to try to keep them in pots, and I'll put them in larger pots. This one, the pot is leaking soil. It's barely in there. I'm going to have to transplant that one in another pot. And then we had to do some trimming of the trees. We can do that if it's hanging on our side. And we had some branches. Well, this poor tree over here, it's on the city side. And it was hit by a hurricane. And there was another tree right about in here somewhere, right about in there. And it went all the way down, and they had to remove it. But they just pulled the branches off of that one. And then my son had to trim up here. I don't know if you can see that. You see where he trimmed it. It broke off too. And then down here he trimmed it again. So, see, I have these. This one has been, oops, we've got a huge anthill here, and it looks like it's growing there, trying to get to the roots, to the root of it all. So we dusted it. That stuff on top is ant poison. And so that is guaranteed to kill the queen too. So that's what I have to not walk on. And then over here is, this one is, we've had for a while, and it looks like it's sprouting in there. You see it? So we may be getting some more leaves on that one. And anyhow, over there, my son put some more leaves over here, and this is This is where I planted a little sprig of passion fruit, and it almost covers this whole jungle gym. But my son, we wanted to keep the soil rich, so he put some of the leaves. This is how many leaves we have. So we put some in there, and let's see, I think he chopped off the rest of it that was growing on the lawn. But anyway, and the lawn is kind of dormant now, so it's not going to grow right now. It'll come back in the spring. It'll come back a lot in the summer. So we have to keep it mowed. But right now we don't. So, and I'll see, these leaves are going to mulch and make the soil richer. And as it rains, they'll go down a little bit. If the wind blows, they'll go back all over the lawn. But they will keep the moisture in as it rains a little bit during the winter and into the spring. They'll keep the moisture in the ground, so I don't have to come out and water. And there's probably a lot of moisture in the ground right now. It was very foggy, if you can see this morning. It's still kind of foggy. Winter gray sky. And here's a orange tree. They don't grow very well in this climate. It was so hot. Right now it feels comfortable, and I have a short sleeve blouse on. I can take a little bit of the coolness. Feels comfortable. And I planted another one. It's growing. It's growing pretty good down here, the lower part where it's getting the water. But up here, the heat got to it. But then you see it sprouted new leaves, so it's alive. And so I'm not going to mess with it right now. It'll probably lose some of those leaves, and here too. And we put some more, my son put some more the second time he raked, which was, I think, yesterday. And over here we have avocado tree, and it looks like it's trying to sprout again because it's warmed up a little bit. See the sprouts on top? Okay, so that one's just lost its leaves, and it's growing. It's trying to sprout anyway. And then this over here, I thought it was an avocado tree, but it's not. The leaves are different. But I found it over here, and of course I didn't want a big tree growing over here. I'll show you my beautiful knockout roses. So, it's some sort of a fern there. I think it's because I took some pine needles. They say it's good for around the rose bushes. I may do that again if I get a chance to get some from our neighbors. They wind up in my gutter on my side. Anyway, so this one's doing better because it's got that. Now they call this a blessing when the ferns grow in your garden. So I did have to pull out some, but they came back. So, and that's kind of beautiful. Anyway, this is a white carnation plant, and I had to prop it up because it was kind of growing every which way on the lawn and everything. And I have some ground covering. A lot of them are weeds. And this one's not sprouting as many knockout roses, but it doesn't, I don't know. I guess I didn't have enough to put there, but that's where I want to put, so the fern will grow there on the bottom. And so I will get some of those pine needles and spread them there to keep. It's always damp along here unless it's really hot and it dries out. Now these weeds, I'm going to try to get to them soon, but if I don't, I'll have to get to them in the early spring. So we do have a way to water. And so my son built this. My son is a carpenter, Paul. He built this deck and covered it. so I have a place to come out and sit and be shaded from the sun and the rain. So, and over here, these are, let me think, I have to think about what they're called. Planted 3 here. These are, darn, I can't think of the name. Oleander. These are oleander. And they grow tall and have a beautiful pink flower. Now this is, I forget what this is called too. Some sort of, well anyhow, it's a Texas plant and has a beautiful little purple flowers that grow. And so I'm leaving it alone. I had 3 of them planted out here, but they disappeared. Now over here, this is a sage bush that has little red flowers that bloom. It's really pretty in the spring. And look at the leaves there. Those are from, let's see, I think they're from the, yeah, same plant. They kind of, it's, new leaves are smaller. Those are older leaves and they kind of turn burgundy, I guess. And so, anyway, this is a really nice Texas ground covering. I forget the name of it. There is, although I do have, and I had this filled one time with this plant, and this is lavender. It's an herb. And so is this. That's an herb too, sage. But I only have 2 left, and they've grown quite a bit this year in this corner. So there they are, and I'm going to leave them there because they're alive. And this will kind of die out a lot, and then in the spring I'll have to trim it back, all of it, including the lavender. Over here, this is, I don't know what I was thinking when I planted. I planted an avocado, in fact 2 of them at different times, avocado seed, just to see what would happen. And this is what happened. And those roots are so in there that I can't get rid of it. I've tried to, and you can see where it's been cut down. But right now the leaves are turning. They're just now turning, and they'll be falling. They're starting to, you can see over here. And they will fall off and come back in the spring. This plant is, that's why I planted the other one too. But this one has been cut back so much, I don't think it'll ever produce. I'm not sure about that other one. Maybe not, maybe I'm not in the right area. Here's some more Wandering Jew, and it's coming up along the edges there. Now, I'm going to take you out front too. I'm going to be quiet so my neighbors don't think I'm crazy talking to myself. This is an evergreen, sort of like the one that we have. The little one that I got recently. And then, this is garbage day, and I think they came. So, anyway, we had a beautiful hedge here, right in front. That's another orange or citrus tree. Okay, this beautiful hedge went all the way over there, and then this part died. So my son and I went and found some more. This is called boxwood. I think it's boxwood. Okay, it's been so long since, but we planted it in here, and now it's growing. And that one in the middle is all the way up, and this one too. There's 3 there, but they haven't filled in yet. So I know it doesn't look quite right, but that's that. It will if it doesn't die. Here's another knockout rose bush, and I think that's appropriate there. And this is holly, and we had to really trim this down. I mean trimmed it back. You can see where my son had to saw it off. It was really overgrown, and he does get in and trim it down, but it was getting almost impossible because it was, if you look, you can see how far out it was. But anyway, it will come back because the roots are really deep in here. So I don't want to take it out completely. But the next, we're going to let that front kind of fill in with new sprouts. And then we're going to trim the top real down, about almost to where the joints are. Or what do you call them? Yeah, where it separates. And then this started out small, just like those ones in the back, the larger ones. And my son planted it there. Now it has branches. I don't know if you can see. Okay, this one is starting to grow new branches in the middle there. That's one branch. And then all the way around, there are all kinds of branches. Here's another one that's sprouting new leaves. See, this is a branch. And then over here, here's another branch. Here's another one sprouting. Now, I don't know what's going to happen if we have a hard freeze, but here's another branch. I'm just going to let it branch off and see how that looks. If possible. And then down here is something that I think it just grew here. We had, my husband, a long time ago, planted these, not those, but he planted flowers in there, and they died. Oops. And this grew, and this looks like a bush or trees. I'm not sure what that is, but we have to keep trimming that down. Anyway, this is a homestead. We've been here, oh gosh, since 1978. So this is what I call home. Thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe. Bye now.